slow down, move over. That's the message AAA is sending to all drivers. Starting this week, Maine's move over law is expanding. Alyssa Thurlow tells us how.
You think you have control of your vehicle, but things can happen in the blink of an eye.
Slow down, move over, it could save a life. That's the message behind AAA to all Maine drivers. Starting Wednesday, October 25th, a new law will go into effect that will require motorists to slow down and move over for any vehicle that appears to be disabled roadside.
And if moving over another lane is not an option or safe, then pass the stationary vehicle at a careful, safe speed.
Senator Joe Baldacci has been working alongside AAA Northern New England to introduce and pass legislation that enhances Maine's slow down, move over law. That law already protects emergency crews and tow truck drivers. Drivers who violate this new law could be fined $275.
When you see somebody on the side of the road, it's important to understand that they're in a risky situation. You need to do everything that you can to reduce that risk.
Pat Moody is with AAA of Northern New England. He joined several other representatives on Saturday, National Slow Down Move Over Awareness Day, to bring attention to the new law. AAA reports that nearly one person each day are struck and killed outside a disabled vehicle each year in the U.S. Earlier this year, one of their tow truck operators was helping a disabled driver on the highway near the Lewiston-Auburn area when he was nearly hit by a truck hauling a utility trailer. That truck missing the tow truck operator by inches.
The wheels were 8 feet in the air. It barrel rolled in the air down the turnpike, didn't hit any other vehicles. It's amazing that nobody died in that crash.
Thankfully, new technology like the Haas Alert system is helping roadside professionals like Magneto of Mark's Towing Service in Caribou. When their lights are activated, drivers are able to receive real-time digital alerts to slow down and move over, helping reduce the risk of a collision by up to 90%.
We've had it for probably 4 months, and we've sent out over 5,000 notifications to different drivers. You know, we're not looking for 100 feet, but, 5-6 feet would be nice.
And slowing down and moving over is a very simple process. We can all do it. It's just a matter of paying attention and performing that exercise.
Alyssa Thurlow, WABI TV5 News.